Hey everyone, how's it going? It is yours truly, it's Bad Boy Swag 420, and this is my first movie review. I'm going to be reviewing one of my favorite movies and one of the best movies of 2017. It's called The Promise, starring Oscar Isaac. I absolutely enjoyed and loved this film. I took my ex-girlfriend to see it, and we both came out, huge fans of the film and praised it for how good it was. However, this isn't necessarily going to be about The Promise 2017. It's going to be about one of its greatest haters, Cenk Uygur of the Young Turks Network, a progressive network that champions rights for minorities, except for Armenians for whatever reason. I just want to go ahead and pull up this article that was archived from Salon. It was issued in published in 1999. So let's just go ahead and start reading here. So as far as I could see from the article, every non-Armenian scholar in the field believes it is an open question whether this event was a genocide. It is the claim of the article that all of these people are tainted by the tentacles of the Turkish government, question mark. If not, then why is it not pointed out that no one outside of the Armenian position, bunny quotes, believes it is a genocide, question mark. Why is it assumed that the Turkish study side, bunny quotes, has the burden of proof in overturning the verdict of the Turkish guilt? It is because of the underlying assumption that despite what these people in Turkish studies say, there must have been a genocide. I once asked a professor of mine who taught a class on the laws of war and war crimes at Columbia Law School to deprogram me from all the propaganda I had received growing up Turkish. I asked him to please find me evidence of the genocide by neutral scholars so I could know the truth. After investigating the issue, he came back and said that he could not find one non-Armenian scholar who believed this was a genocide, but since, bunny quotes, it looked like a duck, it walked like a duck, it talked like a duck, it must be a duck. If that's not the product of excellent propaganda, I don't know what is. Cenk Uygur. Well then, let's just see what Cenk Uygur has to say in his own words, not me reading his article about the Armenian genocide.
There's all this issue and that issue and that issue. And I wrote an op-ed about it, and the Armenians were mad, which is very understandable.
Well, I guess that's one way to describe the events that happened during World War I in Armenia, but the reality is the Muslims, they massacred a bunch of innocent Christian Armenians, and they brutalized them. And basically what Nazis did to the Jews, they did to the Armenians. And the film did an excellent job depicting the senseless violence and the cruelty towards these beautiful people with rich history. And of course, we followed the story of Mikhail, who ends up dating this super hot Armenian chick, who I absolutely adore. I'm going to throw up a picture from her Instagram here. I don't know, I guess I have a thing for chicks from the old world. I miss home. Anyways, but Cenk Uygur puts, he describes the events in his own words very eloquently. So let's just go ahead and jump to that really quick.
Things didn't go well.
Wow, amazing you would even bring that up.
Well, that was pretty interesting, but let me just get a little more in depth since Cenk Uygur was struggling with his words there for some reason. It's almost like he's a giant pussy and can't articulate clearly why he believes that the genocide did not occur. Well, it did occur. There's plenty of empirical data and evidence to suggest that this did take place. So anyways, back to the movie review. So Mikhail struggles throughout the entire film to keep his friends and family alive. And well, if you know the facts regarding the Armenian genocide, these beautiful people were almost cleansed from Armenia and from Turkey. They didn't really stand a chance. They were, harmless people. They were very peaceful, and they've done nothing wrong. But the Muslim organization called the Young Turks, which Cenk Uygur's progressive network is named after, they didn't see it that way. They wanted to get rid of these peaceful Armenians, by working them to death, slaughtering their children, just brutalizing, destroying their businesses. It's not nice. And you know what else is not nice? Cenk Uygur he was very mean to Armenians, even during his college days. Let's see what how the peaceful Armenians in the 90s reacted to junk yogurt.
You know who I beef with all the time?
Who?
First of all, of course. But the people I didn't start the fight with, but the fight was brought to me, was the Army.
Ay. Wow.
But I did, look, one time I went to the head of the Armenian student union, and I saw him at a restaurant, and I was like, hey, you know, we know each other from the thing, and I was like, listen, we should get together and we should talk this through, because there's got to be a reasonable compromise, etc. And he's like, I have no interest in talking to you. I was like, oh.
Well, I mean, look,
Okay.
at that time...
I'm not sure I had written the article yet.
You hadn't written the article
I don't think
yet.
so.
Okay. Because if you had written the article, I'd be like, fuck you, dude.
Well, that was awkward. So anyways, back to the movie review. The film is amazing. The set pieces are wonderful. I believe the film utilized very little green screen magic. There was a lot of, setting up and just a lot of prep that went into making this film that depicts the evil Muslim organization, the Young Turks, from exterminating or attempting to exterminate the peaceful Armenian people. And, and there's a lot of really good about this film. However, there are some negatives, and I think character development suffered greatly at the expense of a love story. Despite me loving Mikhail's love interest, the love story really did distract from some of the horrible things that did historically happen that Cenk Uygur has denied in the past. But that's just my opinion. And I guess some things that I would say to back up my claim would be that there wasn't a lot of, the characters weren't that dynamic, which is very unfortunate. That's very essential for, telling a good story. The characters, while the acting was great and fantastic, I believe, I feel that the characters' actions and motivations and their interactions with each other and with the historical events that did happen, I think they fell a little flat. That would be my biggest gripe with this movie. I would just love to see more, less characters that we focus on, just because it would I think it would be more impactful. And I think this is a story that needs to be told, because it would really upset Cenk Uygur, who has denied the Armenian genocide multiple times throughout history, and also very recently. And even, in this story, it makes Anna Kasparian very uncomfortable. Let's take a look really quick.
Wow.
Okay, so you want to move on?
Wow, what you just witnessed was Anna Kasparian being punched in the throat by her Armenian ancestors, which were massacred in the Armenian genocide, which did happen, by the way, despite the claims that Cenk Uygur has made in the very recent past. It's really unfortunate that this film had to be made, and oftentimes on the internet, more specifically YouTube, the comments have to be disabled and the ratings have to be disabled because of the Turkish government's efforts to prevent dialogue about this genocide, which did happen. It's really unfortunate that even the U.S. has failed to recognize that this happened. I really hope President Trump next year aims to recognize the Armenian genocide, and maybe he should link to a Cenk Uygur video just to, give the biggest middle finger in internet drama's history. I think that would be really cool. Anyways, I absolutely loved the film. It was a lot of fun, and it was really informative, and it really gave you a sense of the desperation of these peaceful people who were struggling and being brutalized at the hands of the Muslim organization, the Young Turks, which Cenk Uygur named his progressive network on the internet after, which is really weird. It's just imagine being German and naming your show The Young Nazis, and then being a Holocaust denier, and then you have like a little Jew working for this network called The Young Nazis, and then that little Jew apologizes for the barbarism of the Nazis. That's Anna Kasparian, guys. She's a cunt, and she's pathetic and a weasel, and she tries to frame it like, she's being bullied by conservative Armenian men. How about you're being rightly criticized by decent Armenian people who are pointing out what a fucking pathetic shill you are? Your network's not even that good. You sold your soul for no fucking reason. You're, talented and you're quick with your mind, and you can do anything. But she chose to work with a Muslim man who has denied the Armenian genocide in the past. So, anyways, what does Cenk have to say about this? My hard-hitting criticism. Let's go to him really quick.
They're like, no, you don't understand, and I'm like, dude, like, okay, I get why the Armenians are incredibly angry about this, given
what happened.
Right.
Well, there you go, guys. That is my review of The Promise, which came out in 2017 about the Armenian genocide, which absolutely did occur despite what Cenk Uygur has said in the past. He is not an authority on this topic. He is not honest on this topic. He is a disingenuous goon who denies the Armenian genocide and apologizes for Muslim barbarism. More specifically, the organization called the Young Turks, which he decided for whatever reason to name his network after. For whatever reason, the lamestream media, his fellow liberal advocates, they have refused to call him out on it. For whatever reason, people like me have to call him out on it and point out how absurd Anal Kasparian's behavior is towards the apologetics, towards the very valid criticisms of Cenk Uygur. So that's all I have. So please go ahead and watch this film. You can probably catch it on Amazon. If not, go to filmicious.net and watch it for free if you do not have Amazon Prime. Or you know what? Just go ahead and pick it up at Walmart. It's a really get it on Blu-ray, and really get a sense that you were there and experiencing the horror these beautiful people had to endure at the hands of the Muslim organization, the Young Turks. All right, guys. If you want me to do more movie reviews like this, please go ahead and let me know. Also, feel free to chime in. Let's talk about the Armenian genocide, which did happen. And the TYT network people, for whatever reason, tiptoe around it because their boss is a fucking piece of shit.
Hey, where did all the Armenians go? Don't care.